a few videos ago, I had made tater tots and I used potato starch in it. And I told you in that video that next time I'm going to show you the crispiest starch that there is. It's sweet potato starch. Since making that video, there's been a video that came out by That Dude Can Cook. He put a whole bunch of starches next to each other and found out that cornstarch was crispier than sweet potato starch. However, this is thin potato starch. He used thick sweet potato starch. The other thing to keep in mind when it comes to crispiness on chicken wings or anything fried is the batter that you use. He used a wet batter. I'm using a dry batter today. There's so many different types of batters. You have to do many experiments to narrow it down. Now, I don't have a whole lot of different starches to use today. I used up all my potato starch already. But rather than just do a simplistic experiment, I'd rather do my own research behind the scenes and narrow it down, finding out which type of batter, whether it be wet or dry, and the ratios of flour to starch work the best, and then put them side by side. There's hundreds of different combinations to choose from. We're gonna use the sweet potato starch. This should be good. Let's get the show on the road.
As we start with chicken wings. Breaking these down is a piece of cake. The knife should slide between the joint of the flapper and the tip thingy comes right off. No need to chop through bone. Then I like to hold it upside down by the drumette and the knife follows the bone down to locate the other joint. No big deal. It's always a good idea to cut your own wings because not only is it cheaper this way, but you will have the tip thingies left over which I freeze and make stock with once I have a lot of them. Into a bowl they go. Time to get our spice on, starting with a good couple pinches of kosher salt, followed by plenty of fresh cracked black pepper. Then a light dusting of white pepper. We gotta be super duper all-inclusive here, right? Make it rain with some granulated onion powder. Oh, you want precise measurements? Well, I don't have any. You see how much I'm using. And you guessed it, granulated garlic powder as well. Always granulated, please. Ancho chili powder makes a very nice addition here. Get some of that in there, followed by a good bit of cumin powder. Extra credit goes to those who toast and grind their own. Make sure to get a bit of ground coriander seed in there as well. Some dried mustard powder. And lastly, dried oregano. I usually put ground thyme in as well, but I seem to be out of that today. Now use that hand and mix this well. Be a bit aggressive here because you want a full and even spice distribution. Since we are after crispy wings, the seasonings go under the breading because the spices will always soften the batter on you. Put this in the fridge and you can let it sit for many hours, which will only make it better. Or you can use it right away like I am today because I am freaking impatient at the moment. In a separate bowl goes equal parts of all-purpose flour and thin sweet potato starch. That's 2 half cups you see here of the flour first, and then the same amount of the sweet potato starch. I do add a few decent pinches of salt to this because salt will not soften a batter when it fries. It is a rock, people. Mix that up very well. This is enough dry batter for about 12 to 15 wings. Today I'm using the ugliest seasoned wok possible because I love deep frying in this thing, and it's perfect for it. The oil here is peanut oil that I've already used a couple times and filtered out after each time. Always reuse your oil at least a few times, folks. This is my favorite method for breading wings. The wings in the seasoning bowl will get 1 egg cracked in. My rule of thumb for this is 1 egg for every 10 to 12 wings. I have 8 wings here, as you can see. Use your hand and mix that egg in very well all over the chicken. As you mix, some seasoning will come off into the egg, but that's fine because it will all be in the batter at the end. You'll see. Add about 1/3 of the dry mix onto the wings. Use your hand and incorporate the mix all over the wings. Take your time here and make sure they are covered very well. This is kind of like the first breading because the wings will get a bit sticky here. Add the same amount of dry mix back on top of this and give it another mix with your hand. This is kind of like a double breading here. It's important to do this because the second breading traps the seasoning under the first layer, thus making for a very crispy result in the end. Make sure to squeeze the wings tight and pack that batter in well. Transfer the wings onto a rack and you will want to let these sit in the fridge for at least 10 minutes before frying them. I like to go 20 minutes myself. It helps ensure the batter doesn't fall off when frying. To fry them, as soon as the oil comes to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, start adding your wings. The temp will drop when you do this, and that's what we're planning on because the final holding temp of the oil should be at 320 degrees. Fry them for 6 minutes at 320. You will have to adjust your burner accordingly to keep it there. After 6 minutes, they get removed to the rack well, they will rest at least 10 minutes before the second fry. Here I adjusted the camera further away from the wok because for the second fry, we want a steady 375 for about 2 to 3 minutes, and it will splatter a lot more. So bring the oil up to between 390 and 400 degrees. The temp will drop down to 375, and then it's up to you to hold it there. This fry will be fast, so don't walk away. If you have a lot of wings and you have to fry in multiple batches, this second fry you can feel free to overcrowd the pot if you want. It won't hurt the fry at this point. So after 2 minutes, they are good to go. Let's have a listen, shall we?
Yeah. These are crispy.
Don't these look gorgeous? Perfect fried chicken in my opinion. Super crispy and tons of flavor. They actually got even crispier after resting for about 30 minutes while I was cleaning up the kitchen after the video shoot. One of my best cooks on fried chicken, and I really love this method.
These look really good. I realized after I took pictures and everything, after I was all done, I completely forgot I meant to hit it with some finishing salt, a little bit of pepper at the end, right after it came out of the oil so it sticks. Oh well, what are you gonna do? No crying about it in the kitchen. Got a little bit of hot sauce here, so let's try one of these bad boys out. Hot. Oh man, hot. Let them cool first. Those are freaking good. I don't think I needed the salt at the end. There's plenty of seasoning in that. And that was so hot, my eyes are watering. Temperature hot. Let's try it with a little sauce. Man, those are good. All right, so the ratio 50-50 of the sweet potato starch to the flour works perfectly for these, as I thought it would. You don't just want to use pure cornstarch. What happens is it's almost like a shell on the outside. It's very light. You're not going to get the golden color. You need the gluten to get that golden color. There's other ways to get around it, but I would definitely go 50-50. At least use some flour in it. I would say these are a winner for sure. I gotta let stuff cool down from now on before I bite into it. All right, anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button. Remember, you can watch my content on YouTube, Odyssey, and Rumble. And until next time, guys, make sure to treat yourself right, cook yourself something good. And remember, there's no crying in the kitchen, okay? Jeez.